necessarily lack of intelligence.
It's not about being educated or uneducated or smart or dumb. It really isn't.
I think it's sometimes miseducation. I think somebody can be educated in such a way that they are educated to distrust authority on a regular basis, which kind of poisons the well up and down the line.
However, sometimes a question like this is helpful. What would be the type of evidence that would make you review your position?
Are a grassroots group of engineers and scientists. We have done several experiments that show the Earth is flat.
The difference between being skeptical about something and being in denial is very subtle but very important, right? Someone who is skeptical is willing to test their own hypotheses, their own assumptions. They are actually looking for the truth, even if it turns out that they were wrong.
Recently, we carried out an experiment to test the rotation to the Earth. If the Earth is spinning at one rotation every 24 hours, that means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. And if the gyroscope is mounted anywhere on Earth, it's going to drift. In today's 21st century navigation systems, they're using what's called a ring laser gyroscope. It is extremely precise. If we could simply get one of these ring laser gyroscopes, we would be able to prove once and for all that there is no rotation to the Earth. One of the people in the community actually purchased one for $20,000.
You start at point A, and then you do some kind of process of collecting evidence, of thinking, or whatever you want, and you end up at a conclusion, point B, that you believe is true, okay? Science is the arrow. That's all science is the arrow. Science is a process to get to conclusions.
But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15-degree-per-hour drift. Now, obviously we were taken aback by that. Wow, that's kind of a problem, right?
But there's a whole other way to think, which is that you start at B. You start at the conclusion, and you say, I have to find evidence that shows that this is true.
You're not looking for data to try to prove you wrong or refine your position, right? You're trying to look for all the data that proves you right.
You'll cherry pick until you find evidence that appears to be an arrow, a logical arrow to your dogma.
We obviously were not willing to accept that, and so we started looking for ways to disprove that it was actually registering the motion of the Earth and that it in fact was registering the motion of the sky. So the next thing that we set out to do was to encase the fiber optic gyro in what's called a zero Gauss chamber to see if we could actually shield the energies being generated by the heaven. And we were unsuccessful with that, unfortunately. So the next thing that we're going to try is encasing the entire apparatus in bismuth. If everything works well, I'd like to release it at the conference.
If there's not anything that you can say, anything you can show me that could make me believe, oh, I guess I'm wrong. It's not falsifiable anymore. It doesn't make any sense for a scientist to argue with that kind of thinking. There's no point.
We have been able to prove other aspects of it, and so it's not unreasonable then for us to continue claiming that the Earth is flat.